Okay, so the situation is you are in the biggest business venture of your life with a business partner that you have intimate history with. And it seems like that's going all according to plan, probably. A lot of drama and a lot of challenges as expected, but it's going. But the complication is that you two have a history that's popping back up. All right, so there's some chemistry that's there. And you're messaging me because he's in your head. The relationship or, the connection is in your head. You're like, what do I do? So here's the thing. You and your business partner both probably have the same priority. All right. To me, you've already expressed that your business venture is your priority. So I need you to understand that you need to say that out loud because that is going to be your North Star. Whatever direction, whatever choice you make, it needs to be guided by does this support the success of my business venture? All right, because that is the priority over a relationship, that is the priority over this guy, that is the priority of what over everything right now. Okay, in the situation. So just got to point that out, okay? The second thing that you need to do is recognize that if you have a personal relationship with him, you two need to have a real discussion about that and some ground rules for what's going to go on because I know you. I know that you aren't quick to settle down. I know that it's very possible that you could lose interest and by next week he might have to be working with you and because you guys work together so much and so closely, he's going to know that you have plans to meet somebody or that you met somebody last night or whatever. Who knows? Eventually that could come out, right? And it could come out next week or next month or next year. But you got to prepare for that situation. So the two of you need to recognize that, okay, well, the business is our priority. So how do we conduct ourselves if we do want to explore this and get to know each other? So that requires a conversation so that you guys can work together regardless of if things are good or if things are rocky or if things are just like we tried it, it didn't work, that you can still have a good business relationship. I think you're actually someone that I feel good about that with because you're so honest and blunt. And if you can do this at the beginning, then that's the only way that you can pursue this. If you don't have this conversation and lay out the groundwork at the beginning, you're not asking for success. All right, so you have to set yourself up for success. If he's not going to lay the groundwork, you need to be the one to bring it out. All right, which brings me to my next point. He's talking about the wrong things. He's talking about vacations. He's talking about uh, marriage. He's talking about these fantasies, and what that does to a woman is it does what it does to you. It's got your mind going. You're invested. Your bandwidth is taken, so much so that you're like messaging me and saying, "Help me on this one, please," because it's something that's basically grabbed a hold of your mind and it's sunk its hook in, and it's demanding attention. Meanwhile, he's off living his own life after, gassing you up with all that stuff. I would have to ask you, what has he actually done to what actions support that? Or that's probably just a really nice conversation, a really nice imaginary conversation, but he doesn't have the actions, and that's what you need to judge him by. And that's what you need to point out to him, like, hey, first of all, something that you need to know about me. Like, I love connecting with you. I love our banter. But some of the things that you're talking about, you need to slow your roll. You're talking about marriage and vacations. You need to remind him that you're going to judge him by actions and not words. And then also, you need to remind him of where you two actually stand. You need to remind him we need to, if we do this, we need to do this even more correct and appropriately because we have a business relationship. So, if you want to pursue me, that means real dates where we get to know each other, not just mixing families all at once because we skipped all the steps, and not just sleeping together because we have this great connection that we only develop in the workplace, and we kind of think that gives us credit, and we don't have to work at our romantic side or our connection in person. No, I think you need to have that conversation where you kind of recognize that if you two want to have a business and a romantic relationship, it takes twice the work. You don't get to do the work once and it applies to two areas, business and personal. It doesn't work like that. So I think you need to have that conversation, and that puts the burden on him then to have some of that mental bandwidth taken up with, like, well, shit. After that conversation, I need to kind of watch the words in the conversations that I'm having with her. After that conversation, I need to kind of be more about my actions than my words. After that conversation, I need to kind of consider, like, what happens, if things go south, things to consider. Like, so those are things that I don't think that you have a problem with, because I think you can have that conversation with him, with your skill set of communication. You're blunt, you're honest, so the only thing that you need to do is make sure that you are tempering it, your bluntness and honesty, with letting him know that you are interested, but it just has to be done right. All right. And that's the way that you buffer the message of kind of saying, like, hey, you're just doing a lot of talk. You can let him get the message somehow, uh, that yes, you are interested, but it has to be done properly. And you also have to just share with him, like, hey, we're in agreement, right? Like, our priority is making this business work, right? Not the personal relationship. But like, if we can follow that, and you want to, if we can agree and do things right with, seeing what else is there romantically, I could be open to that. That's the conversation that I think you should have with him. So those are some of the thoughts that I have on this one. A little longer talk on this one, but kind of a complicated subject that I wanted to kind of make sure that you understand some of the things going on and just know where your head is at. If you have any questions, or need clarification, or if something didn't quite make sense to you, or something really does resonate with you, just let me know, okay? All right, later. Thanks for watching. If you appreciated the content, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you believe that learning about better strategies for life and love is advantageous, I invite you to join Get Game Group. Membership is free, open to men and women, offers weekly game video lessons, and a weekly mailbag for member submissions. Click the link in the description to join.